welcome back to educator.com. This next lesson is on subtracting integers. So, to subtract the integers, the previous lesson was on adding integers. So what we're going to do first, in order to subtract integers, is use a 2- rule to change the subtraction problem to an addition problem, because adding integers is always a lot easier than subtracting integers. So we're going to use a 2- rule, and what that is you're going to, in order to change the minus sign to a plus sign, you're going to add a dash to it. So for example, if I have 3 minus 5, I'm going to, I have to make 2 dashes. The first dash is to make this minus sign a plus sign. That's the whole point, to change the minus to a plus. So I'm going to use the first dash to make that a plus, and then I have to make 2 of them. So then my second one will be to make this a negative. So now my subtraction problem is now an addition problem. So another example, if I have 3 minus negative 5, well, this is a minus, this is a negative. So the first dash is going to make this minus a plus, and then since I have to make 2 dashes, this is already a negative. So then my second dash would be to make that a positive. So 3 minus negative 5 would be the same as 3 plus 5. Okay? If I have negative 3 minus 5, this right here would be just a negative 3. That's not a minus problem. The minus is right here because it's negative 3 minus the 5, right? So when you use a 2- rule, you're not going to be using it for negative signs. All you're doing is changing the minus, the subtraction problem, to an addition problem. Okay, so you're not going to use a 2- rule for this one up here, but you're just using it for the minus sign. So it'll be 1, 2. Okay, and that's your subtraction problem to an addition problem. And then you just add the integers. So if you remember from last lesson, when we add integers, if we have the same sign here, if it's the same sign, if this is a negative and this is a negative, right? Then we can combine these numbers. We can add the numbers, which is 8, or take the absolute value. Remember, absolute value takes the distance from 0, so negative 3 is 3 from 0, and absolute value must be a positive number, because distance, if you're looking at how far away negative 3 is from 0, here's 0, 1, 2, here's negative 3. How many units away from 0 is it? It's 3, right? So whenever you measure distance, it cannot be a negative. It has to be a positive. So negative 3, the absolute value of negative 3 is 3, and then the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So then if you add those, it's going to be 8. But then be careful, because you have to give it the same sign. So this is a negative, this is a negative, and this is going to be a negative. Okay, so negative 3 plus negative 5 is negative 8. If you look at these problems right here, or this one, let's do this one first. So this one doesn't have a sign in front of it, but if it's a positive, because numbers are either going to be positive or negative. If there's no negative sign in front of it, then it has to be a positive. So this is a positive 3 plus a positive 5. Well, that's just the same thing as 3 plus 5, which is 8, or positive 8. For this one, their signs are different. This is a positive 3 plus a negative 5. Since their signs are different, again, you take the absolute value. This is 3. Absolute value of this is 5. And instead of adding them, you're going to subtract them. You're going to find the difference. And that is 2, right? And then you take the number with the greater absolute value, which is this one right here. Get that sign, give it to this one. Okay, so the answer is negative 2. If you don't remember how to do this, or if you want to do look at a few more examples, we're going to do a few more here for this lesson. We can also go back to the lesson on adding integers. So the first set of examples is to rewrite the subtraction problem to an addition problem. The first one is 5 minus 9. So we want to use a 2- rule, right? the 2' rule is strictly just used to make a subtraction problem to an addition problem. Later, when you start getting really comfortable with these kind of problems, you won't have to use the 2' rule. The 2' rule is just to make the problems a lot easier. So for here, the first dash I'm going to make is to make that minus into a plus, right? So it's going, and then that's the first one. My second one that I have to make will be to make that one a negative. So then now we have 5 plus negative 9. The signs, now that it's a plus problem, we have to add these two integers, but they have different signs. This is a plus positive 5 and it's a negative 9. So we take the absolute value, so the absolute value of 5 is 5, and the absolute value of negative 9 is 9, right? Now remember their signs are different, so we find the difference. So 5, absolute value of 5, plus the absolute value of negative 9 is going to be, oh I'm sorry, this is a minus, so let me just make that a minus. So this is going to be 4. Now it's a 4, but remember again, you have to figure out which one, if this is a 5 and this is a 9, this is the bigger number, so you look at the sign that goes with that number, it's a negative, so then you're going to give that negative sign to the answer, so it's negative 4. Okay? Now this next problem, we have a minus negative, so it's negative 10 minus a negative 4. So again, the first dash will be to make this one to a plus, and then the second dash would, for this problem we made it into a negative, but it's already a negative, so then we have to make that into a plus. Okay. Now again, you're not going to use the 2' rule for this negative sign up here. It's only to make this a plus. So whenever you do the 2' rule, it has to be right in there. Okay. So negative 10 plus 4. This is negative 10 plus 4. That's the same thing. Plus positive is the same thing as just plus, right? I don't have to put my positive sign. So again, they have different signs. So the absolute value of 10 minus the absolute value of 4 is 6. And then which one has the greater number? The absolute value is going to be this one right here. So then you're gonna take that sign, same sign, and give it to this. Now be careful with the signs because you can get this number right, but if the sign's wrong, then the answer will be wrong. So you have to make sure you have the correct sign along with the correct number. Okay. The next one, you're just finding the difference. So again, we're going to use a 2' rule to make that a plus, and then there. So they're different signs, positive, negative sign. So we're going to find the difference of their absolute values, which is 7, and then you're going to give that negative sign because the 11 is the greater absolute value, and then you're going to give that a negative. Okay. The next one again, you're going to make this a plus, and then a plus, right? So then negative 5 plus 5. This is negative 5 plus 5. Negative 5 plus 5, again, they're different signs. And so you take the absolute value, that's 5, minus the 5 is 0. So this is just 0. If you have positive 2 minus 2, that's 0. So a negative 5 plus a 5, if you have opposites, then it will just be 0. Okay? Okay, next one, 32 minus 9. Make this a plus negative. So then they have different signs. This, I take the difference of the absolute values. So this is 32, the absolute value, and this is 39. If I find the difference of that, it's 7 with the negative sign belonging to the 39 to the greater value, and that becomes a negative. Okay. For this, absolute value of negative 15 minus absolute value of negative 9. So the absolute value of negative 15, how far is negative 15 from 0? It's 15. Okay. You can also think of it whenever you take the absolute value of something, it's just the positive of that number. So if it's negative 15, then the positive of negative 15 is 15. And then minus, this is not inside the absolute value signs, okay? So then this doesn't change. This has to stay the same. And then absolute value of negative 9 is 9. So 15 minus 9, and that is 6. Okay, we don't have to change this. I mean, if you want to, you can change this minus to a plus using the 2' rule. But, I mean, 15 minus 9, we know that that's just 6. Okay, the last couple examples. Here we have negative 3 minus negative 8 plus 5. So the first thing I want to do is negative 3 minus negative 8. I want to solve this first. But I have a minus. Remember, we want to change our subtraction problems to addition problems, and we do that by using the 2' rule. So for the 2' rule, the first step will be to make that minus into a plus, because that's the whole point of using it. So the minus will change to a plus, and then I have to make one more little dash, either to make this a negative or to make it a plus, because it's already a negative, so I have to make that a plus. So then I change negative 3 minus negative 8 to negative 3 plus 8. Okay, negative 3 plus 8. Plus positive is the same thing as just plus. So negative 3 plus 8. And negative 3 plus 8, again, they have different signs, right? This is a negative and this is a positive. So the absolute value, I'm going to take the absolute value. Now, if it's different signs, then you're going to take the difference of the absolute values. So negative 3, the absolute value of that, which is the distance from 0. How far away is negative 3 from 0? That's 3. And then this absolute value is 8. So when you find how far apart they are from 8 and 3, the absolute values, you get 5, right? So this is 5. Now, you look at which number has a greater value, absolute value. So then that's 8. You're going to give it the same sign as that number. Okay, so since 8 is a greater number, it has a sign of a positive, so you're going to give that 5 a positive sign. And we don't have to write the positive sign. If you just don't write anything, then that's the same thing as giving it a positive sign. Okay, so this right here became 5. Then I have to do 5 plus this 5. And so my answer is going to be 10. Okay. Okay, the last example. This is for minus 10 minus a negative 9. So I'm going to solve that first. Again, by since it's a subtraction problem, for minus 10, I'm going to change that subtraction to an addition problem by using the 2' rule. So the first dash will be to change this minus to a plus, and then my next dash is going to make that into a negative. Okay? Remember, both dashes have to be within those two numbers. Okay? You can't make this number negative instead of this number. Okay? Both dashes you make are going to be within the two numbers. And it's 4 plus negative 10. Again, their signs are different. This has no sign, which means it's a positive. So positive 4 plus negative 10, they have different signs, which means you're going to take the difference of the absolute values. So this is 4, and this is 10. So to find how their difference is going to be 6. And then this has the greater value, and that has a sign of a negative, so that's going to go there too. And then I'm going to do that. So negative 6 minus a negative 9. Again, we have a minus problem, so I'm going to change this to addition by doing that. That's 1. And then it's already negative, so then I have to make that a positive 2. Okay? So negative 6 plus positive 9. Opposite signs, right? They're different signs, so you find the difference. This is 6. This is 9. So then they're 3 units apart. Which one has the greater value, the 9, and that has a positive sign, so this is going to be a positive sign. So the answer is positive 3. Okay? So that's it for this lesson on subtracting integers. If you want to go back and review over some more problems, the previous lesson on adding integers, that will probably help you freshen up a little bit for the next lesson. Okay? So thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.